But what I am really annoyed at right now is black women and the way that they are defending this guy over a black woman. Now, whatever you think of me, if you like me, if you don't like me, I am comfortable with the position of myself of not being liked and
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about the Zeze Millz interview with Glitz and why she's getting a backlash from apparently black women as she put up a video. So guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share and subscribe. Click on the bell button for the notification of the uploads. And for those of you returnees, and you already know the model, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. Oh yeah. Okay, the net was off, but don't watch back. Hey, make sure as well, guys, click down below the description, grab yourself one of these shade hats, use a Littleblackbook91 code for 10% off. And for those of you already know, Mineral Gang means basically to have strength, courage, bravery, you get me, to stand in the face of a storm. So let's get on to it. Check out the site as well while you're there. Let's get on to that particular topic. So the Zeze Millz obviously put up a video the other day, and I didn't even want to comment. I saw the video and I didn't want to watch it. And the reason why I didn't want to watch it, the reason why I didn't want to comment upon it, is because I just felt like obviously I've done a few videos on Zeze and it just looks like it's personal. And it's not personal, but I didn't want it to be personal. But people keep asking me to review what she said, okay? So first of all, I'm going to put this disclaimer. Black women who are outspoken will always be killed. I'm just going to be real with you. Black women who are outspoken will always be killed. Yeah, the society that we live in does not allow for the framework for a black woman to be strong, independent, outspoken, and just do her own thing. There will be someone trying to nuke her, majority men, right? But in this particular case, when we're dealing with this particular issue, Zeze set herself up for a fall, yeah? And I knew it was coming because the day before this interview dropped, you've come onto Twitter. Whilst Twitter is speaking on an issue around black females, predominantly, who have been sexually assaulted by certain people who are in the industry of music and the creative arts, etc., etc., and there was a list going round. Now, the list didn't mean people going to jail. The list was about people who had done things, right? Who had assaulted people, right? And the list was meant to be private anyway. It wasn't even meant to be public. It was meant to be private, right? And obviously some people made it public by just putting it onto the TL. Okay, cool, no worries. Now, when you come onto the TL and they're discussing how black women are affected by sexual assault, rape, harassment, sexual violence in general, and you come and you misdirect the conversation by throwing an alternative, just like, when I say alternative, I call it gaslighting. When you begin to bring a topic like, are we going to be open to talk about black men who are having sex with women and the woman says she's on the pill, she's not on the pill, and they get a child. We call that entrapment, yeah? And that would also, and if you want to call it anything, it would be a class, I would call it as a style of rape as well, because we didn't consent to this. So this would be stealth, the opposite of what men have for stealthing when they take off a condom and have sex with a woman, the opposite would be for a man, do you know what I mean? It'd be rape, right? But we're not talking about that right now. And when the conversation about sexual assault was not happening, you didn't open your mouth to speak. So I have a problem with not only Zeze, but anybody who derails a conversation when it was originally about women and sexual assault. Why do you feel the need to come and bring, oh, but men too? No. You see, when you do that, I'm not even going to say pick me. What I'm going to say is you act just like the males who try to derail the conversation when they do not want to have a serious conversation about sexual assault. And then you end up trying to put this narrative of a defensive position that we've also got to talk about the men. We don't have to talk about the men. If the men want to talk about it, let them talk about it in their own thing. You see, you're doing exactly what males do to women when they are failing to take account. Okay, just like white people do to black people. We say Black Lives Matter. White person comes, all lives matter. But did we say that you don't matter? Did we say you didn't matter? Or are we saying Black Lives Matter because at the moment black lives are not mattering at the moment? When black women come out and say they're being sexually assaulted by certain people and the consensus is agreeing because they've also had other experiences, and then they say this is what their experiences on the TL, and then you go, but are we going to talk about, no, there's no freaking but. There is no but here. When you do that, you're doing exactly what white people do to us when they're derailing the conversation because you're failing to take account. So what you're doing right now, is becoming an enemy of state. So there is no one else to blame but Zeze. And then the problem with Zeze is that I feel like sometimes when we try to, and no one cusses Zeze about her hair or anything like that. Like, I haven't seen those kind of things. If they have, it's wrong, right? Most people that I see cussing Zeze are talking about what she says. Like, they're derailing what you say, right? And yes, there will be people that don't like Zeze. There will be people that don't even like me. Right, there are people that don't even like me. But the whole point is, most of the people that are saying stuff that I'm looking at are talking about Zeze, what you said. And I saw in several parts, and I put the picture up, several people had even counteracted what you had said. Saying, one was like, this is not the time to do it. Two, you've chosen this opportunity to speak about black men being dealt harshly, but we're talking about black women and their experiences. Why do it now? You know what I mean? And so it's like Zeze's failing to read the freaking room. Read the room. The conversation wasn't about black men and what happens to them. If you want to have the discussion with them, Zeze, lead the charge on another day. Not when we're having a discussion about sexual assault from women's side. Whose voices are normally muted. You're a black woman, you understand this, but what you're doing right now, you see, the equivalent of what we say black people being a coconut or being an Uncle Tom, where they're now coming against black people, right? Where they're now being they're now for the downfall of black people. It's exactly what you're doing as a woman to other women. And then you say you're for black women, but then you're derailing a conversation about black women. It doesn't make sense. So the very thing you're saying about on your site, on your video about how can black women defend a white guy over me? How can you defend black males over the black women? You've come into a conversation which is talking about black women and assault, and you derailed the conversation with a section of tweets about black men and their assault. We are not talking about them. If we were, have a separate conversation elsewhere. Today is not the day. Today is not the day. You understand? It's the same energy that you gave to Lani, and I didn't understand it. Like, you're talking about, oh, so black women are gonna, black men this, black women this, and then you were here tearing down another black woman, calling her a hoe and all of this stuff. That's what we're talking about. That's why people don't like Zeze. That's why people don't rock with Zeze's energy. Because you're here saying, obviously, black women, and then you're there tearing the black woman down. It's like, that don't really make sense. Do you understand? So people are seeing a duality. They're seeing a paradox. They are seeing that you're confusing, because at one point you're saying, I support this, at the same time you're doing the opposite where you're tearing down. It don't make sense for people. That's why they're frustrated. Some of the tweets that I even saw that you had tweeted about the situation. Read the room. Like, let me read some of the tweets. You understand? There's obviously one of the tweets was, black men have a lot to learn when it comes to us, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to spend every day tearing them down. The TL was literally a them and us war ground. It's not healthy for any of us. Black men, you piss me off, but I still love you if this makes me a pick me. Oh, fucking well. Now, listen, Zeze, what was the need? They weren't talking about all black men. I wasn't hurt by it. Do you know why? Because I'm not one of those people. Yeah? I wasn't hurt about the allegation they were bringing out, because I wasn't one of those people. Because I wasn't doing that. I wasn't perpetuating that. Do you understand? And they weren't talking about all black men. They were talking about a certain type of black men who were doing sexual violence. So there's a very clear distinction between black men and men who are committing crimes. Very clearly. Why have you made it into us and them? They weren't doing that. They weren't doing that. Do you understand? They weren't doing that. The list wasn't meant to get to us men. It got to us men somehow, yeah? Then some men put it onto the TL. Do you see the problem here? Some men decided that as they got the list to put it on the TL. Or sorry, one of the women's, I think you put it on the TL, I think it was, right? And they put it on the TL to expose. Okay, cool, now we've got a problem, right? But it's not a them and us. It's them, that group, that social group that are flouting the social rules, committing crimes, okay? Sexually violent, okay? Them. That's the them. So I want to make it very, very clear. That's why black women are a little bit incensed. Some black women are incensed by Zeze's behavior. And then you come on to Sunday and do an interview with Gliz. And this is where the issue is. Because obviously I've written down some of the points that, Zeze made. She's obviously, you know, some last week's comments. Black women were enraged about Gliss's comments, and they were, and rightly so. This guy had tweeted comments about black women in the most derogative manner. It seemed that there was some colorism involved in there, and generally just being absolutely spiteful and racist. Okay, cool. All right. Now, even within the racism, there was colorism, right? And this is why. And another thing about Zeze is that the energy you gave to Gliss makes no sense when you don't give it to Pastor Toby. That's why honestly, that's why people are stressed. You saw the interview that you did for Pastor Toby. You yourself admitted that you didn't come hard, right? So you didn't come hard, and then you came hard at Gliss. Why? You can't. You see, you came. You see, that's what I was saying. I hope that you tried to reach out to some of these artists and some of these people that were slandered for sexual assault and violence, right? Or even, colorism alone. Let's leave sexual violence alone. For those who are even tweeting colorist tweets from the past, did you invite any of them onto your platform to speak? Just want to say. I don't know if you did. Maybe you did. Let's say you did, yeah? And you didn't get any of them onto a platform. But you got this guy Gliss to come on your platform, yeah? Who did wrongly, yeah? And unlike the Pastor Toby one, there was so much evidence of what the madness he had done. And you said, I want to be impartial. I want to be impartial because you guys will tell me that, no, we would have never told you nothing. We were expecting you to do the madness. And you knew we were expecting that. You knew I was expecting that. But you decided you weren't going to do that. That was your choice. Now you come into the Gliss situation, you want to go hard at Gliss. And what people are seeing is that you see, it's a marketing thing. And she knows as well. It's a marketing thing. You made Gliss look like a piñata that you were beating. And the piñata wasn't the sole responsible for all the madness that's happening. His tweets are not tweets alone. There are other black men who are tweeting too. I did another video where I said about this. I said, look, you can't come at Gliss without coming at the boys that he's around, because the boys didn't check him. The boys that are around him that were black, that made him feel comfortable to say what he was saying, they didn't check him. Yeah? He ain't the only one that's tweeting about dark-skinned girls. You understand? Specifically, I'm going to even put it now, yeah? He ain't. There's a lot of black men doing the exact same thing. I know you hold, and let me be fair to Zeze, she holds energy for black men. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When she wants to do it, she does it, bruv. But when you don't do it on your platform, right? About the issue, for instance, dealing with how they treat black women, then it don't make no sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, then people see an impartiality and pick and choose when you can violate and say certain things. That's why people have an issue. The pick and choose ability that you have. That's what they're feeling stressed about. Coupled with the fact that the day before, you were coming against black women. Whether you think you were or not, by trying to derail the conversation, you were coming against black women. So you really didn't have them on your side. Okay? Now the interview with Gliss, you were saying obviously she doesn't get what she did wrong, she held him accountable. The point was, you didn't actually hold him accountable. And the reason why is because I say this as well, look, when we're dealing with the issue, deal with the issue. Yeah? She's talking about him having speaking Yoruba as a gimmick. It becomes a gimmick of an interview when you don't deal with the core issue. The first thing that should have been coming is like, listen, you've put tweets on the TL. This is why you're here. Okay, you put tweets on the TL. Let's talk about it straight. Yeah? Let's talk about it straight. Look, this tweet. Do you understand what's happened here? Alright, what happened? What happened then? Boom. She did that, yeah? She did a little bit of that. Alright, cool. Okay, can we explain, obviously here, that you got a little bit of dark, you've got some issues over there. And she mentioned it in the interview, it was a little bit later on. She mentioned it in the interview saying, obviously, that, you know, I can see that it looks like you're fetishizing us, or whether you're racist, I'm not really sure what's going on. Now, when the guy is not responding with energy the same way Pastor Toby is doing, you can't then go forward. Because if you go on a hunt like that, you're going to make this guy look like a piñata. That's the whole point. Because the guy was coming humble. The whole point was when the guy was coming humble and you come with energy, it looks bad. That's marketing 101 for you, yeah? It's just gonna look bad. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, because obviously as well, when you were questioning him on certain things that don't need to be questioned on, yeah. So it looked like bullying. It flipped from being about the subject, about the tweets that you've made 8 years ago, yeah? I mean, a viable question would have been, okay, so you said obviously it was 8 years ago, 2012, and the climate was a bit mad, but you were 17. You know, you was actually you weren't 12, you were 17. You knew better. Like, so talk to me a bit more about that then, because obviously, what's changed since then? How do you know that you've grown today? You said you've matured. And what way have you matured? How do we know that you still don't hold those colorist tweets? See, this is the conversation and the question we should be asking. Not going into, okay, you grew up around black people. Oh, you spoke Yoruba. Why do you speak Dutch instead? The guy said he chilled around people who were Nigerian blood. And then you're hammering them on that. And that's where people are having a problem. Look at some of the comments. A lot of it is about, why is she talking about a white guy can't speak Yoruba? It's a language. We don't own the language. We don't own language. It's a part of our culture, yes, but we don't own the language. If someone moves to Nigeria and starts speaking Yoruba, we can't say you can't speak it. We don't own the language. Do you understand? Yeah, we don't own the language. You know, at one point she said to him, "Oh, you like the black culture, or whatever. Do you feel like you're a sellout because you're not doing white music?" What? First of all, even though sellout itself, in fact, dealing with the word sellout is even a problem, because even black people shouldn't be saying, "Do you sell out?" As black people, we shouldn't even be saying that. Yeah, you want to talk about being fair? As black people, we shouldn't even be saying sellout. Do you know why? Because we have, yes, a genre of music that normally comes from our culture. But every music is music at the end of the day. Do you understand? Like, whatever genre you want to do, you can do it. Do you know what I mean? And we don't have white people selling out. When white people are doing our music, we don't say, you're selling out your white people. That's the first time I've ever heard someone say that white person's selling themselves out. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a bit like black on black crime. We don't say white on white crime. Why? Because there is no need to say it. Why? Because it's an agenda to put black on black crime to make it look like we're the worst party. Same with black people saying you're a sellout. There's no sellout. Go and do your thing. Choose your genre. You understand? Let no one tell you nothing. So when you're saying to him, oh, do you feel like you're a sellout? It's a non-entity question. Why would he be feeling like he's a sellout? For doing rap. He grew up in that environment around black people. Again, it's a non-entity question. And so it looks like you're just coming at something. It looks like, one, you were unprepared for the interview. I'm going to be honest, because the questions went all over the shop, right? And then when you're hammering on certain points, it's not a necessity to the conversation. It's not a necessity to the conversation. We had to wait almost 20 minutes or so before we got the conversation about tweets. The reason why you're here is because of your tweets. And we spent time dragging this guy down. Oh, if you were black, you wouldn't be in the industry. Who told you? We don't know that for sure. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Listen, and then he obviously has to admit, he's gonna admit that, yeah, do you know what, if I was black? No, we don't know that. If I'm real with you, we don't know that. I know about cultural appropriation, and I know how people can appropriate culture. I know, just like Kim K, I know about all them things. But the truth of the matter is, there are people who are on Twitter. O'Shea got a freaking contract. Is it because he can sing? Is it because he got talent? Yes, he was found on Twitter. Blood, like. Fam, that was it. So there was I don't feel there's appropriation here. That's the reason why he's getting labels come after him. But I understand also the understanding of the marketing. He's right. There is a marketing that comes from it, with the fact that he's white. He can flex in between both particular cultures, and so therefore he can become a gimmick. But to then trash him for it, it's like there's no point. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying again that Zeze is a bad person or anything like that. I'm just saying that I can see why people were stressed. You understand? I can see why people were not happy with her contribution in terms of this interview, right? You know, there was, you know, I just felt like this was a time for educational piece and to find out how he had educated himself. I think that was a great time to do it. But instead we chose a moment to kind of like try and drag him down for things that didn't need to be dragged for. He's getting dragged for tweets. Just drag him for the tweets. Do you understand? Don't place the whole of the sins of black men onto his neck. Because, blood, there are a lot of black men you haven't brought onto your thing to do conversation with about how mad they move. So that's why people are a little bit stressed. They're like, you're not keeping the same energy, right? Not only that, she's obviously said that, you know, she feels like people have a distaste for her, so they were defending him over her. And the thing is, the whole point is this. You did the exact same thing for Pastor Toby. You made Pastor Toby look like a hero. Don't complain now. You made Pastor Hero, the compliments that people were giving Pastor Toby after they watched your particular interview is the exact same thing they're doing to Gliz. Ain't a colour issue. It's a you issue. Your interview style is causing certain people to look like heroes when you didn't want them to look like a hero, because you ended up looking like a villain because of the question and the way you lined it up, right? And similarly enough, it's like Zeze has back-to-back bad days, like. Because just like the Pastor Toby situation, then after that she did an interview with, or did the hot desk with Back Chat or whatever, and Castellani. So then it was like double the fire. And then they come again, you're coming on to this interview with Gliz, and you tweet the day before about black women, and do you know what I mean? So you've doubled the fire for yourself. You know what I mean? No one else but for yourself. And so that's why people are coming at Zeze so much. There are other things I'm sure with it. Like I said, there were so many different tweets that were counteracting what she was saying. Definitely those tweets would have been making people feel a certain type of way, and the way they approached even your interview. They already had a biased view. But if you look through the comments, look specifically for what people are saying, you'll realize most of the comments do donate the interview. That a lot of people are saying, why is she coming at the Yoruba? Why is she talking about the fact that he's speaking Yoruba? Why the fact that she's talking about the fact that he's white? And then instead of actually just addressing the actual issue, which was a colorism and the racist tweet. You understand? Deal with that issue. Deal with racism like that. But if you deal with the person trying to trash the character, where the guy's saying that I grew up around Nigerian people, that's why I speak this way, and then you launch into the fact that, well, you don't speak Dutch, well, you're embarrassed to speak your Dutch or whatever. And it's like, I don't even chill with the Dutch side like that, blood. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm comfortable on this side. Like, brother, like, I grew up around Nigerians, So it's like, we were trying to understand what he was saying. Do you understand? And then you trashed him, and it's like, blood, we never, listen, like you said, black women already done trashed him already. Did you get what I'm saying? Black women already done trashed him already. You then did an interview hoping that you would trash him and get views. This is why I keep saying that culture vulture stuff ain't working for no one. When you're doing it from a place of I'm just trying to get the views, it will show. Eventually it backfires. This is what I'm trying to say. Because people can see when you care about the issue and when you don't care about the issue. People can see when you're trying to do something for clout and when you're not doing it for clout. Like for instance, the past story situation, it was for clout. Absolute clout. You know, you pretended as if you didn't know there was evidence in the sky and that we plucked it out of nowhere. And now it came out of the blue. And then now you want to tell, you know, so you, as she said, she did the Glitz interview because she felt like, obviously, she wanted to hold him to account.
His mental health. You bullied him offline when you saw those tweets, and now I'm the bad person because I had him in front of me and I've seen the disgust and outrage that you lot felt as black women and me also, and I thought, you know what, I have to make sure I hold this guy accountable, and now I'm the bad person. I'm the one that's in the wrong. Like, I don't understand it, and it makes me feel like, are we this oppressed that when it comes to a white man, we just let it go?
And as a fellow black woman, well, if you're a fellow black woman, put your foot in a fellow black woman's shoe as you already have it in, and begin to stop trying to see things from multifaceted angles. The angle doesn't need multifacetedness. See it as it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, see it as it is. And I think a lot of people are saying the exact same thing, which is that, like, Zeze, just like, yo, like, not even tone it down. It's like, we don't want you to be, we like you unapologetic. We want you to be unapologetic. But the issue is, it's the way you go about it. The way you go about it is causing stress for even the black woman that you're supporting. You understand? And so, yeah, I know that, do you know what, Zeze's a good person. Like I said, I've met her before and she's really cool. I actually like her. I don't agree with everything she did, just like I didn't like her interview with, R Fabulous. And the reason why is because you don't give us the chance to know the person. Are you interviewing or are you interrogating? You understand? Like, Piers Morgan is that style. Like, he's a pit, like, bro, what, Piers Morgan ain't trying to find out your history. Yeah, he wants to debate you. That's the whole point. Now, Zeze, are you debating them or are you interviewing them? If you're debating them, let us know so we know that we're coming into a debate. But if you're coming to interview them, then get us the story. Give us the story. Give us the background. We want that. You understand? If you're coming to trash and annihilate, okay, then let us know that's what you're coming for. Do you understand? Alright, cool. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. More love. I appreciate you. Let us know your comments down below. Again, it's not a trash of Zeze's character. We're talking about what she did. You understand? That's what we want to know. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded.